allowing the eyes to gently close or allowing the gaze to be lowered. And as you do so, bringing your attention to the breath, the flow of the breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. And just receiving the breath on the inhale and release on the exhale. This morning you have nowhere to be, no one to manage. What a relief. Allowing yourself to be soothed by the breath and anchored in the present moment. Inhale, soft and gentle through the nose, deep nasal breath. Exhale through the nose, following the exhale to its natural conclusion. And now bringing your attention from the flow of the breath in and out of the nose into the belly area, bringing it down through the center line so that you're expanding from the base of the ribs, the full diaphragm breath, and the belly is soft. Soft belly. Inviting the deep inhale and releasing on the exhale. Keep going, finding your own rhythm with the breath this morning and allowing the breath to simply be. And thoughts will come and go as they do. Gently just bringing your attention every time back to the breath and the movement of the soft belly in the rise and fall. Rise and fall. And in a moment, we're going to do bow breathing, like the bow and arrow of a warrior. And with this breathing, it's going to be a little faster than usual, than you're used to with me with pranayama. And that might lead to you blowing off a little bit more carbon dioxide, and you may get tingly in the fingers and a little bit lightheaded, and just know that that is normal. Completely normal and safe to be in your body. When you're ready, let's meet at the end of the exhale. Take a deep inhale through the nose, drink the breath all the way up and up and up and up. Hold the breath, open the lips, exhale. Good, and again, inhale all the way up, part the lips, exhale. Follow my count, inhale deep, exhale, release. Inhale again, exhale through the mouth. Inhale again, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Few more times. Inhale through the nose, up and up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Next time, inhale all the way up. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Relax the body, holding the breath. Undo all of the tension in the body from the shoulders down, holding the breath in. And now part the lips, exhale all the way out. Let it all go. Follow the breath to the bottom of the exhale, and again, hold the breath on the empty, lungs empty, hold the breath. You can hold your breath for longer than you think. You've blown off some carbon dioxide, you will be able to hold the breath those few minutes longer. Finding a peace, lungs empty. And when you're ready, taking an inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Coming back to a gentle rhythm nasal breath. When you're ready with me, second round, this time in through the mouth, out through the mouth. So relaxing the jaw, parting the lips, forming an O with the mouth. When you're ready. Inhale through the mouth, release. Inhale, release. Breath in, release. Inhale, release. The inhale is active, keep going. The exhale is passive, a surrender, a release. Inhale, release. Inhale, let go. That's it. Breathe through the mouth. Find your rhythm. Exhale through the mouth. Deep breath in and release in one quick blow. Inhale, release. 2 more like this in your own time. Deep breaths. And at the end of the second exhale, can we meet at the top? Inhaling all together, drinking the breath through the nose, up and up and up and up. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Relax the body. Hold the breath, but unhold the body. That's it. Part the lips, sigh it all out. Let it all go. And meet at the bottom of the exhale. Hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale. And find a moment of peace. Find a moment of peace as you hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale. A few more seconds here. And taking a deep inhale through the nose now, all the way up. And exhale, relax. Completely relax. Let the breath become natural, normal. And any lightheadedness, any tingling, any feeling of levity will return to its natural physiological state in the next few moments as the body and breath readjust. And now coming to blinking the eyes open and lying down on your back. I want you to take up space this morning. Get big, get really big. Lying down on the back, come into your legs spread wide, the arms spread wide, lying on the ground. So just allow the whole body to take up space. And get really big like a starfish on the ground. And as you find your back body meeting the ground and taking up space, can you allow the breath to soften? Allow the breath to soften. And with every exhale, allow your bones, your ligaments, your tendons to melt into the earth. As you arrive this morning in your yoga practice, your time. Allowing all 4 limbs to release into the ground. As you bring your attention to the space between the eyebrows and allow the mind to orientate to the body. We spend so much time up in the head, and now is the moment to allow the body to speak from its cells. Our concept today, I invite you to investigate, to ponder, is the concept of Qadr, translated as power. And given our recent celebration of this night of revelation, wherein it was revealed to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, an unquestionable and profound truth, it seemed imperative that we explore today the flow of power in our physical, emotional, and our energetic body this morning. So let us begin from this space, from this wide space where you have taken up space. Let us begin a really simple and organic movement. What that's going to involve is all 4 limbs drawing into center. So you're going to hover both arms off the ground, both legs, and put a bend in the elbows, bend in the knees as you draw all 4 limbs to center. So legs and arms hovering, you can clasp your hands around your shins and curl into a ball, lifting chin to chest, or you can simply make fists with the hands and bring them into the heart space. Good. Now stretch out all the way, all 4 limbs, starfish, hovering above the ground, an inch above the ground, and then condense, bringing all 4 limbs in. And I want you to find a flow in this movement, maybe an inhale on the stretch out and an exhale on the condense in. And can you take it really slowly, really organically, so that you're like almost a hibernating animal, like a hedgehog, with the back of your body rounding on the back, the spines of the back. And as you come into your hedgehog, your tiny space, you condense. And as you expand, you have a sense of inherent power within every cell of the body. On the most atomic level, a vibration which carries a deep intelligence, this macrocosm of expansion and contraction that the universe is also in motion with, and of which we play an inherent part. So with the eyes closed, finding a sense of extension. And then when you're ready and you complete your last condensation, we're going to come into having the palms of the hands on the shins and tucking the thighs in. So we're just coming into that ball space with the head and the neck relaxed on the mat, and both palms to the shins. And then can you take your palms to your knees? So both palms are going to roll over the caps of the knees like you're holding onto a banister, and the fingers drape over the knees and the thumb is relaxed. And from here, so you're holding both your knee caps and your feet are floating in space. Can you extend your arms out? So you're going to lengthen your arms, holding onto your knees, so that the legs are hovering in space and they're being held up by the kneecaps, by the palms of the hands. And then I want you to widen the knees, so take the hips wide. So all you're doing is spreading the knees, and we're coming into hip circles. So from here, putting a bend in the elbows, drawing both knees to your armpits, and then closing the legs together, big toes touch, shins touch, knees touch. Good. And again, extending the arms out so that the knees move away from you, opening the hips, feet part, bend in the elbows, knees to armpits, thighs to chest, legs connect. And finding a circular motion. So as you extend the arms, bring them out and back, you're finding a sense of rotation in the hips, and the femur, which is part of the ball socket joint of the hip, is a ball that is rotating in the acetabulum of the hip. That's it, really good. So finding a sense of rotation and movement in the pelvis now. As you rotate, that's it, really lovely. So we're going to explore the narrative of power within the hips today, within the pelvis. Our pelvis is the seat of the root chakra, and it is one of the strongest bones in the body. It's also a very intimate area, and it's also an area which is essential for shock absorption. So when we developed into Homo sapiens, the pelvis absorbed this ability to absorb, the transmission of forces through the ground, so that our skull was protected. And now can you take those circles in the other direction? So bringing both knees and the feet together to touch. This time you're going to put a bend in the elbows, draw the knees to the chest, then separate the feet, widen the hips. And then when it's widened, extend the arms long, holding onto the kneecaps, and bring the feet together slightly away from you. So again, drawing thighs into center, out to the sides, and taking the hip circles in the other direction. And maybe just slowing down by like 10%. Slowing down by about 10%, so that you can really feel that rotation of the ball socket joint in the pelvis. And from our body this morning, we have the opportunity to visit a sense of Qadr, a sense of power within the body, and where that originates from and where it can filter into our daily life. When you're ready, coming to stillness, bringing both hands onto the shins now and bringing the thighs into the chest. So from here, you're going to take a position where you widen the hips again. So both knees are going out to the side, okay? So hips are widening, knees out to the side, spreading the pelvis. But this time, the inner arches of the feet are going to meet. So I want you to touch big toes together, heels together, and the inner soles are meeting. So the feet are touching and the knees are hip width apart. And then extend your arms on the diagonal up to the ceiling, so towards your feet, and spread all 10 fingers wide, all 10 fingers wide. So we're getting really, really integral through the bones of the arms. And then I want you to draw your knees a little bit towards your chest, okay? So there's a movement, a motion of the thighs towards the belly, knees towards the chest, as the arms find the inside of the thighs, and they tuck on the inside of the thighs. So the forearms are now resting on the inside of your calves. And finding a strength through the arms, can you give me a little squeeze? So give your thighs and calves a little squeeze into the arms, and with an equal and opposite force, allow the bones of the arms to press out against the legs. So there's a little bit of power there in the legs and the hands. And this will make a lot more sense in about 45 minutes, I promise you. Deep inhale and exhale, release. Bringing the hands to the shins. Give one little hug into the chest, and then extend the legs long along the mat, lengthen the legs, and bring the left arm up behind you to lie on the ground behind the head. Put a bend in the right knee, so bringing the sole of the right foot to the ground, and allowing the left arm, which is long behind you, to receive an invitation to roll onto the left side as you ground through the base of the right foot. And then the right hand finds the ground as you make your way up to seated. In fact, let's come into tabletop. So we're coming onto hands and knees. And wrist stacked underneath shoulders, hips above knees. So the knees are hip width apart. And untuck the toes. And finding a sense of grounding in the hands. So allowing all 10 fingers to spread wide as the wrists ground. From here, let's extend the left leg all the way back, coming onto the ball of the foot of the left leg. Now from here, I just simply want you to rock forward and back. So you're transferring the weight into the hands, weight into the foot. And just rocking forward and back, allowing a stretch to occur all the way through the back of the leg. That's it. Now, from here, I want you to take your pinky edge of your back foot, so the left foot, you can look towards the back foot if you want to, or look towards me, and take the foot to the side. So you're rolling onto the outside edge of the pinky edge of the foot, and then back through center, and then big toe edge, the heel meets the ground on the inside. Rolling through the foot onto the tip of the toes, and then onto the pinky edge, side of the foot meets the ground, heel to the back of the room, and then heel to the inside. And you're rocking back and forward, and the motion is coming from the hip joint, from the hip. As you find a motion and a movement and a rocking sensation that brings the ball of the foot into contact with the ground. Good. And now the movement can come from the tips of the toes and ripple up the leg so that all the motion is coming from the ankle and the hip is rocking side to side. From here, the next time that your pinky toe edge meets the ground, you're going to come onto the front of the foot. So watch my back foot. I'm rolling onto the front of the foot, finding the big toe edge, and then the heel reaches towards the back of the room. Pinky toe edge, front of the foot, big toe edge. And you're making circles with the ankle so that the front of the foot, that aspect of the foot we pay so little attention to, is finally getting a massage on the front of your mat or floor. And you might find a little squeaky noise that you're making at the back of the mat. That tells you you're doing it right. As the ankle starts to take circles with the whole of the foot in contact with the ground. From here, let's take it in the other direction. So a gentle rock onto the big toe edge, front of the foot, pinky toe edge, heel towards the back of the room, and taking circles with the foot. Lovely. When you're ready now, allowing the right knee to slightly move towards the center of the mat, so just shifting it towards the center. And then the left leg is going to stroke. So imagine it like a paintbrush, stroking towards the front and bringing the knee to the nose. So untuck the toes, bring the front of the foot in contact with the mat, knee to nose. And as the knee comes forward, tuck the toes and stroke the mat all the way back. Front of the foot, untuck the toes, knee towards the center of the hands. Tuck the toes at the front and draw all the way back. So almost like you're marking out your territory on the ground. And can you come into a sensory experience of what it feels like? Maybe there's some friction or some heat building up under the edge of the toe as the toe strokes the mat and you discover the ball of the foot in contact with the earth. Good. Next time the knee comes forward between the hands, watch carefully. I'm going to cross my legs. So my left leg, which I've been stroking back and forth, is going to come in front of the right. And I'm simply going to cross. So both thighs are touching. Both thighs are touching. Frame the hands so that the back knees are in the middle of the hands, just like so. And inhale, we'll take some cat and cow. Drop the belly, lift the spine, lift the heart. Exhale, ground through the hands, belly to spine, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale back into flexion, allowing the back to open up. Exhale, release. From here, we're going to take a brief visit into downward facing dog. So you're going to tuck both toes, so both toes tucked. And all you're going to do is ground through the hands, lift the hips for a brief moment. So grounding through the hands, both toes on the ground. It's like a cross-legged downward facing dog at the back. One breath here, deep inhale. Exhale, knees find the ground, back into tabletop. Good. When you're ready, extending your back leg, so that's the right leg, extending all the way back, lengthening the leg out, and then swiveling the shin so that the right foot comes back underneath you. And we'll take the other side. So bringing in some space between the knees, we're going to start to rock forward and back, this time lengthening through the calf and the back of the right leg. So heel reaches towards the back of the room, open up the Achilles tendon, transfer the weight forward, opening up the hamstring and the back of the leg. When you're ready, transferring your foot, looking back onto the pinky edge, rocking onto the pinky edge, back onto the tiptoes, heel toe edge, and just rocking back and forth. And allow the movement to come from the ankle and ripple into the hip, because the entire leg is connected. So any power generated in the foot, in the ball of the foot, is communicated up through the knee into the hip. When you're ready, we'll take ankle circles now. So allowing the foot to rest on the pinky toe edge. Can you come onto the front of the foot? And then transfer onto the big toe edge, ball of the foot, heel to the back of the room, and finding a gentle circle. So allowing the foot to sort of trace the back of the mat. And this is a really complicated movement, right? Like some people ask me, is this a beginner's class? And I'm like, no, this is not a beginner's class. This is like real embodiment. If you can bring your attention to the foot and allowing the sensation of the front of the foot and all the little tendons to open up. And when you're ready, other direction, big toe edge, front of the foot, baby toe edge, heel stretches, opening up the fascia on the base of the foot and the ankle joint. Lovely. When you're ready, extending the leg all the way back and then untucking the toes, resting the front of the foot on the ground and drawing it into the belly, knee to nose. Tucking the toes, extending all the way back. So I want you to imagine like you're painting calligraphy here. Knee to nose, untuck the toes, draw all the way back. And having a sense of heat and friction building up with the contact of the foot in the ground and painting a line of calligraphy forward and back. When you're ready, knee comes towards the nose. You can step the hands forward ever so slightly to make space if you need it. And watching me, you're crossing the right leg in front of the left. Both thighs meet. Both arms frame the front knee. Inhale, drop the belly, curve the spine, flexion. Exhale, ground through the arms, tuck chin to chest, belly to spine, extension. Finding a rhythm, cat and cow. And allowing the pelvis and the hips to dip between extension and flexion. That's it. And syncing with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. When you're ready, coming to find a neutral spine and putting a tuck in both of the toes and simply going into the downward facing dog with the legs slightly bent. So bringing the knees to bend and rooting through the hands, head low, hips high. When you're ready, knees find the ground. And we're going to undo the knot back the way we came. So extend the left leg all the way back. And then allow the shin underneath you to swivel and coming into tabletop. Now we're going to take plank pose here. And you'll remember what I said last week. So when we come down through plank pose, in order to build strength in the triceps, we need to protect our shoulder joints. So I want you to remember that this is external rotation and this is internal rotation. So as we come down through our plank pose, or anyone who does press-ups, I want you to extend both the legs, and if you need to, have your knees on the floor, so you can come from here. But for those of you who want to come into full plank, extending both the legs all the way back, tips of the toes, heel towards the back of the room. And instead of the arms, elbows coming out like this, that's definitely a no-no. I want you to draw the elbows to the front face of the room and then lower, all the way down to the ground. When we reach the ground, inhale, ground through the palms of the hands, lift the chest, arc the back, upward facing dog or cobra. Coming through tabletop, transferring weight onto the knees, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. And walking the feet in for your first downward dog of the morning. You can lower one heel to the ground at a time, pedaling out, so-called walk the dog. And just coming into opening in the back of the legs. When you're ready, deep inhale through the nose, bow breath, open the mouth, exhale, release. Take that again. Deep inhale through the nose, part the lips, exhale, sigh it all out. When you're ready, putting a generous bend in the knees, look towards the hands and simply walk the feet towards the hands, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. We can meet anywhere on the mat, middle of the mat, front of the mat, and just hang. So there's three options here. Bend in the knees with the arms gently resting on the thighs, Forearms all the way down, hanging like an orangutan, allowing all the spine to just unfurl. And we're going to be here for a few moments, so allowing the head to drop and putting a bend in the knees if you need to, so that the lower back can release. And even taking both hands to opposite elbow, if that feels good. And when you're ready, everybody putting a bend in the knees and then slowly unfurling, like that hedgehog coming out of hibernation into your standing full sense of grounding, coming up into Tadasana, mountain posture. Arms relax and release by the sides. And we're going to take a gentle wrist wobble here. So having your feet gently hip width apart, deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And I want you to, we're going to come into shaking the left wrist, and I want the shake to come from the shoulder joint. So all I want you to do is shake the arm, but the actual motion is coming from here or from the elbow. So the wrist is not, the wrist is flopping back and forth like a fish in the ocean, but the movement is coming from here. And this is a motion that I recently saw an acupuncturist, a friend of mine. He put this on YouTube because actually the muscles of the forearm need to be released in order for the wrist to feel loose. And bringing the elbow to bend, can you come up to the side? So this looks like this. But the motion's coming from the elbow. So the elbow's coming in and out, kind of like a chicken wing. And that is releasing the muscles of the wrist. And I do this now pretty much every day because my wrists have been hurting at my laptop all day. and RSI from messaging too much. Okay, other side, relax the arm, bring up the right side. So shaking, shaking it all out. Allowing the motion to come and originate from the shoulder, from the elbow, and then putting a bend. That's it, good. It's like a little motion, lovely, good. And you can take both arms if you wish, although I always feel a bit silly doing that. When you're ready, relaxing the arms by the side, deep inhale, arms all the way up overhead, gazing towards the thumbs, towards the heavens. Exhale, prayer to heart center as we fold in half. Allowing hinging from the hips, offer the chest forward. Bend in the knees, generous bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift, fingertips to shins or mat. Exhale, palms of the hands find the mat, bend in the knees. Step the right foot back, left foot back, plank posture. From your plank, can you externally rotate the shoulders, hugging the shoulder blades together and lower down? If you need your knees on the floor, please do so. 50% of the way, 50%. Inhale all the way back up. Let's take that again. Lowering down 50% of the way, observing the power and the strength in the arms. All the way back up. That's it. And now all the way down to the ground. One long line, body meets the ground. Grounding through the palms of the hands. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips, upward facing dog. Exhale, transferring through the knees if you need to, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Now, layer one would be bringing your knees to the ground and continuing the first sequence we did this morning. If you're comfortable in downward facing dog, then we can do that from down dog too. So I'm cueing from downward facing dog, bring both feet together, big toes touch, heels touch. Transfer the weight into the left side of the body, left leg. Lift the right leg up and back, split dog. As you exhale, can you put a bend in the right leg, the flying leg at the back, and bring the knee towards the nose. Transfer the weight into the hands. When you arrive, knee to nose, front of the foot to the ground, tuck the toes, and then stroke the back of the mat, that calligraphy line, as the leg moves all the way back and up, split dog. Exhale, knee to nose, stroking the front of the foot along the mat. As the knee comes to the nose, untuck the toes and extend all the way back up. Let's take that again. If your knee is down, that's fine. Inhale, lift the back leg. Exhale, stroke the front of the foot along the ground. Tuck the toes, extend all the way back. Last time, front of the foot strokes the mat. As the knee comes to the nose, can you plant the foot onto the ground and drop the back knee to the ground, and then use your hand if you need to help the right foot all the way forward, low lunge. Inhale, arms come all the way up. From here, your back leg, which is the left leg, can you untuck the toes and swivel it behind you? So the left leg is swiveling on the knee behind you, and the arms come all the way out. So it's a kind of seated warrior two from here. Lovely. Now, in warrior two posture, you have the option to lift the front heel off the ground. And this puts a really, really deep bend in the front of the thigh. So it's optional. Coming onto the ball of the foot, otherwise leave the heel grounded. And when you're ready, inhale, flip the front palm, relax the left arm towards the back leg, and reverse warrior. So we're allowing the left hand to stroke the back of the leg as the right fingertips reach up to sky, side bend. One inhale here. Exhale, release. Both arms windmill down. Plant the front heel, both hands on the inside of the front foot. Swivel the back knee back and take the right leg all the way back, separating the knees and the feet. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, head low, hips high, downward facing dog. If you need to, allow your feet to meet the ground. Otherwise, bring both feet to touch, heels to touch in downward facing dog. Other side, transferring your weight into the right side. Can you lift the left leg up and back behind you? As you draw the knee to the nose, allow the front of the foot to stroke the mat as you come all the way forward, and then tuck the toes and allow the toes to stroke the mat, reversing the journey the way that you came. Inhale, leg comes forward. Exhale, leg goes all the way back and up, split dog. And again, front of the foot traces the ground underneath you, knee to nose. Exhale, leg all the way back and up. Last time, as the front of the foot strokes the ground and the knee comes towards the face, can you untuck the toes and either step the foot all the way forward or use your hand to step the ankle forward. Drop the back knee, low lunge. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Prayer to heart center. This time swiveling the back knee behind you, so the leg comes behind, arms out, warrior two. So this is layer one for warrior two. And lifting the front heel if you like. So lifting the front heel off the ground and allowing the hips to release towards that front foot. When you're ready, flipping the front palm up, allowing the right hand to reach the back of the right thigh. As it strokes the thigh, allow the left hand to raise fingertips to sky, side bend. Inhale here, exhale, return. Planting the front heel if it was lifted, both hands windmill down on the inside of the front foot. Swivel the back heel and come into child's pose. Taking both knees out to the side, big toes touch, buttocks resting back, forearms to ground, head to ground. And returning to your bow breath, there is so much power in the breath. Can you inhale through the nose and release through the mouth? That's it. Deep inhale, allow a small rise in the cells of the body and an expansion. And an exhale, can you yield a little bit closer to the earth? A little bit closer to the earth. When you're ready, transferring the weight back into tabletop, weight coming forward into the wrist, separate the feet. From here, tucking the toes, hips high, head low, downward facing dog. So again, layer one, you can have your knees on the ground. Bring both toes to touch, heels to touch. And we'll take the second flow sequence. Pouring the weight into the left side of the body, can you lift the right leg up and back, split dog. Exhale, knee draws to nose, weight transfers into the hands as you stroke the front of the foot along the mat. Exhale, untuck the toes, stroke the mat back, lift the leg up and high, and release. There is so much power working through the hands And the leg, which is stroking the mat, is providing a sense of rhythm, providing a sense of support as the leg strokes forward and back. Good. One last time. Forward and all the way, extending all the way back. And the next time the front of the foot meets the ground, you draw the knee to the nose, flip onto the toes of the foot, lower the back knee if you need to, and step the right foot forward. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, prayer to heart center. This time, hands find the hips. Can you tuck the toes of the back foot and lift the back knee, crescent lunge? As we come into crescent lunge, you can guess what's happening next. And if you prefer to be on the ground, take the same sequence we did last time. Turning in the heel of the back foot so it meets the ground, arms come out, warrior two. And having a really wide stance between the front foot and the back foot, particularly if you're tall. Deep inhale and exhale, land. Lovely. Now, checking in with the front knee that is stacked over the front ankle. And if you feel comfortable, can you raise onto the ball of the foot of the front leg? And you're allowing the hips to gently yield. And this is only possible if you have enough space. So if you have enough grounding through the feet, you can lift onto the ball of the foot. And my front foot is dancing, and that's okay. Flipping the front palm all the way up, allow the left hand to release onto the back of the thigh. Inhale, lift, fingertips coming all the way around, side angle pose, reverse warrior. Deep inhale, exhale, find warrior two, planting the front heel to the ground. Straightening the front leg now. Can you come onto the heel of the front foot, so lifting the right toes up to the sky and rotating them to the side of the mat. Good. From here, bringing the hands to the hips. Can you bring the heels in and the big toes out? Heels in, big toes out. We're coming into goddess pose. Putting a bend in the knees, allowing the hips to yield down to the ground. Inhale, arms come all the way up, lengthen the legs. Exhale, prayer down through center, coming into juicy hips. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, down through center. When the hands reach the center, can you allow both hands to come onto the inside of the thighs? So my thumbs are pointing down and my fingers wrapping around the inside, just a few centimeters on the inside of the knee. Deep inhale, exhale, apply slight pressure into the thighs to open up and widen the hips. Lovely. Allow the back to be straight. So I'll show you from the side. Lovely. From here, I want you to apply slight power into the left hand, and move the torso of your body over towards the right. So you're essentially bringing that shoulder right in front of the face, leaning towards one side. Allowing the left hip to open. Back through center. Good. Allowing the right shoulder to come past the chin as you apply slight pressure, lengthening that arm and leaning over towards the left. Let's take that again. Back through center. Good. Pressure through the left hand. Using the power of the hand to open the hip, allowing the shoulder to come forward. And back through center, other side. Good. When you're ready, releasing, lengthening the legs, bringing the toes to face the side of the mat, hands on hips, inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest, exhale, side forward fold, allow the hips to hinge and the arms to simply drape towards the ground. Allowing the back to decompress and putting a generous bend in the knees if the back is rounding. Deep inhale here, exhale, allow the spine to unfurl. Like that hedgehog coming out of the space into your sense of power, allowing the belly button to rise and the chest to rise as you bring the torso up to standing. Inhale, arms lift all the way out to the sides, picking up the toes of the right foot, the front foot, and swiveling it towards the front of your mat space. And then coming onto the toes of the back foot, lifting the back heel. As we put a bend in the front knee, windmill the arms all the way down, dropping the back knee and taking the right foot back into tabletop and downward facing dog. Meeting in downward facing dog this time. Deep inhale through the nose, Exhale through the mouth, let it all go. When you're ready, bringing big toes to touch, heels to touch. This time transferring the weight into the right side, lift the left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, stroke the front of the ground with the front of the foot, knee to nose. Flip the toes, bringing the ball of the foot all the way back. Good, and taking this motion like that calligraphy brush, drawing a line front and back, marking out the path. When you're ready, next time the knee comes towards in between the hands, can you drop the ball of the foot to the ground, release the back knee if you need to, and step the left foot forward into low lunge. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Prayer down to heart center, hands to hips. Can you tuck the toes of the back foot and lift the back knee? We're coming into warrior two, allowing the back heel to rotate in and having a generous space between front and back foot, both arms lift. And checking in with the front knee, that the left knee is stacking above the front ankle, but you can still see the big toe of your front foot if you look down. And from here, optional to raise onto the ball of the front foot. Warrior two. Flipping the front arm now, allow the right palm to meet the back of the right thigh at the back and lift into reverse warrior. Deep inhale here, exhale. When you're ready, arms coming back into warrior two, plant the base of the front heel, lengthen the front leg, and pick up the toes of the front foot as you swivel the feet to meet the other side of the mat. I'm going to turn around so that you can see me. So from here, again, bringing the heels in, big toes out, coming into goddess pose. That's it. Into goddess pose again, lovely. Inhale, arms lift, lengthen the legs. Exhale, prayer to heart center. Good, now optional to keep the hands in prayer or take the hands to the thighs. All I want you to do is lift the heel of the right foot. So lift the heel of the right foot up, and you can find a little bounce here to release into the pelvis, and then lower the right heel down. And now lift the left heel up. Slight bounce of the pelvis and down. And now lift both heels up for 3 breaths. Deep inhale, exhale, release. Feel the legs wobble, find your power. Deep inhale again, release. Inhale again, release. This time heels come to the ground, lengthening the legs, bringing both toes to point towards the side of the mat, heels back, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bow all the way forward and take both palms to the elbows, allowing the arms to weigh heavy down to the ground. When you're ready, releasing the arms long and again unfurling through the spine, lower back, middle back, upper back. Lovely. Hands behind the hips, again swiveling on the front heel of the foot to lift the front toes, put a generous bend in that knee, lifting onto the back heel and windmilling the arms down and coming into plank posture or allowing the back knee to drop. Meeting in plank posture, can we transfer the weight into the hands onto the ball of the foot, and optional to lower down 50% all the way, or just simply going all the way down to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose, bringing both knees out to the side, big toes touch. 1 breath in child's, deep inhale. Exhale, release. And as you round the spine, coming back into tabletop for our last, building up to our peak posture. Now, if you're fasting, I probably wouldn't do this because you're going to get really thirsty, but just watch me for a moment. So we're going to take some bunny hops, what I like to call bunny hops, and we're going to do this from down dog. So you can do it with your heels on the ground. You have an option to step and step back, or if you're in downward facing dog, bring both feet to touch, heels to touch. Put a generous bend in the knees. Look towards the hands, and I simply want you to jump your feet towards your ankles and then step back. I'll show you again, downward facing dog, look towards the hands, bend in the knees, jump the feet forward, step back. Okay, so let's give that a go. Take a few hops, I'll do it with you. So from downward facing dog, or with knees on the ground, gaze towards the hands, lengthen the neck, bend in the knees, look forwards to where you want to go, and jump forward so that the feet are just near your wrists. Lovely. Step the right foot back, left foot back, down dog. Lovely. Bend in the knees, jump forward, step back, jump forward, step back. And just take that a few times, finding a bit of flight. That's it, really lovely. Building up the heart rate. That's it. Okay. And when you're ready, we'll all meet with our feet either side of our wrists at the front, and allow the arms, just as we did at the beginning, to rest on the inside of the thighs. Lovely. And from here, you can allow your buttocks to reach the ground. So we are coming into Bakasana, which is crow pose. And I'm going to demo crow pose, and then we're going to give it a go. So grab your block or your book. And if you've got a book, I'd probably have it on the wide edge. So I'd probably have it on the horizontal edge. But if you've got a block, I'd have it on the vertical edge. Now, crow pose has a little perch, because crows have a perch. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread our fingers wide onto the ground, or come onto fingertips to begin with. And then you're going to step onto your perch. So all this work we've been doing into the ball of the foot, where we can stand in our power, and all the work on the shoulders is going to come in useful. So stepping onto the block and bringing both feet to touch and gluing the thighs together. From here, just as we did at the beginning, you're going to separate the knees. So my first motion is this. And the inside of my soles are touching, just like we did on our back. And then planting the hands onto the ground. This might be enough for you. You might think, that's it, Rabia, that's it for me, and this is fine. But if you want to play with power in the arms, what I would like you to do is the next motion is lifting the hips. See, this is sometimes why I don't think yoga teachers cue very much, is that in crow pose, you must find flight in the base of the pelvis in order to transfer forward. So tip number one, lift the hips. And this might be enough for you, or you might just play with transferring weight between the feet and the hands. So that's enough instruction for now. Let's give that a go. So coming onto your perch and bringing toes to touch, inner soles of the feet to touch, gluing the thighs together, fingertips in front of you, and then allowing the knees to go. And if you don't have a block or a brick, you don't need one. So just bringing the toes to touch, hands like this. It's not a big deal. We're going to demo that in a minute. And then when you're ready, knees separated, arms on the inside, can you lift the hips and transfer the weight into the hands? Just a gentle play and back. Transferring the weight into the hands and having the neck long. I can't emphasize this enough. If you tuck your chin, you're going to do a roly-poly, which is also fun, but not really where we're intending to go. So neck long, looking past the front of your fingertips and playing with the weight. Good, and release for a moment. Good, so you can turn your wrists underneath just to stretch them out. So coming onto the backs of the wrists or shaking them out. Okay, next step. So hands coming down onto the ground. Good, onto your perch and raising the hips up. Now you might want to play with lifting one foot up at a time. So as you lean forward, finding that squeeze between the inside of the thighs and the outside of the arms, like we did at the beginning. You may want to play with lifting one foot and the other, looking forward. So that's the next step. So if you guys want to play with that, or if you want to try coming into full posture, if you're comfortable with lifting one foot at a time, again, squeezing the thighs on the outside, lift one foot and then the other. So give that a go. Have a little bit of a play in your living room. And as you do that, by the way, this is an experiment, okay? It took me years to do crow posture, so please don't be harsh on yourself. This is playtime, okay? So this is just an experiment into the power into the arms and the power in the base of the foot. And remember to breathe, okay? Please don't hold your breath. As you inhale, lift the hips. As you exhale, transfer the weight. Inhale, lift the hips, exhale, transfer the weight. So demonstrating full posture now. And if you need to stretch out your wrists, do that. So both hands planted on the ground, big toes touching, arms on the inside of the thighs. Inhale, lift the hips, grow tall. And now the knees can rest on the back of the elbows. So if you've got room on the triceps, the knees can rest. And as you transfer the weight forward, lifting one leg and then the other. And if you've got a good solid crow pose, for those of you who I know do, can you try the jump back? Can you try extending into plank from crow? One more minute here. And if you've had enough, then I'd like you to come to lying on your back and extending your legs out in front of you and taking windscreen wipers with the legs. So if you've had enough, extend the legs, bring the soles of the feet to the ground, and simply rock the knees to the right, knees to the left. And for those of you in crow pose who are finishing off, as you come down from your final posture, can you simply sit with buttocks to heels, allow the hands to rest on the front of the thighs, close down the eyes for a moment, and bring in the interoception into the heart space. So observe the breath and the beating of the heart. And when you feel like you're coming to a rest space, simply take a deep breath in and release. And we will all meet on the ground, lying on our backs. When we're ready. And for those of you who are coming into the ground, lying down, can you now bring both feet to touch, so soles of the feet to the ground, both shins to touch, knees to touch, thighs together. So allowing the arms to rest on the ground by the sides. And can you simply lift the right leg all the way up to the sky? So right leg is long. And all I want you to do is cross your legs. So allow the right leg to just cross over the left. So both thighs are touching, lovely. And then pick up the base of the bottom foot and bring both knees into the chest and both hands to your shins. And just hug the knees into the chest. Now, some of you may feel this is enough, but some of you might want to play with a lying Gomukhasana. So what you do here is you just tickle, bring your fingertips down to your feet and find the right hand to the sole of the foot and the left hand to the sole. And then just bring both feet out to the side. So drawing the feet out to the side. And you can hold on to the shins here or the feet. And as you bring the feet out to the side, can you take a deep inhale? Exhale, allow the thighs to gently fall towards the belly. That's it. Inhale and exhale as we loosen the hips. Lovely. One more breath here. And release. Letting go of the feet, bringing your hands onto the shins if you did, allowing the soles of the feet to draw towards the ground and unraveling the legs. Right sole of the foot meets the ground, left leg long up to the ceiling. And then just crossing the legs, so both thighs meet, taking the hands to the shins, drawing the knees into the chest. Lovely. And if it feels comfortable for you, taking the hands to the soles of the feet and lengthening the feet to the sides of the room, to the right and to the left. Deep inhale, lying Gomukhasana. Exhale, thighs to chest. Lovely. Using the breath to guide you deeper. And when you're ready, allowing the sole of the foot to meet the ground, unraveling the legs, or taking a lying twist if that's what your back needs or your side needs, and just doing any little motion that I haven't brought you to today. So rotating the ankles, lengthening the legs, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, when you've released the wrists and the ankles and the back, let us all lie down on the ground and let us take up space. It's time to get big. And can you allow both arms to go wide like a lying starfish, and both legs and hips to lie out to the side. And as you do so, returning to your favorite breath from this morning. So whether it was inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, or inhale through the nose, exhale mouth, or maybe even inhale mouth, exhale mouth. So closing down the eyes or lowering the gaze. Can you begin to invite the breath in these last few moments to ground you down, to root you down? Lovely. And allowing the bones to get heavy and allowing the mind to rest. And as we moved through our practice today, we came into a sense of what it felt like to walk in our power through the ball of the foot and the arc of the foot, which is so integral to witnessing our own Qadr, our own power within ourselves. And allow the hips to weigh heavy, breathing into the hips and allowing the pelvis to yield to the ground. And as we close our practice today, I read to you from Prayers of Honoring by Pixie Lighthorse. Thank you for this holy day that is rising. We are nervous, but we can step up. We have reservations, but we have your support. Sponsor our causes when we find a good way. For the sake of our precious, short lives, make leaders of us. Because after all, we are here. We are all ears. Guide us to study the chemistry lesson for living from our hearts and allowing the ripple to flow out and into our communities. Teach us right messages. Give us the foresight to understand the consequences of our works and actions. Help us with our confidence. Drench us in your abundant fragrances and drape us in ferns and forest mosses, so we may know the pleasure and joy of setting verdant examples. Muddy our shoes, so those in our footsteps leave behind perfection in favour of adventure and the exploration of new ways. Let us show up not as stoic, humorless presences to those learning and watching, but allow them to see us in our humble states and able to turn difficult situations around on a dime when that is what is called for. Help us do the best that we can and make the best of challenging situations. Help us put our hearts on the line, hold our hands as we unfurl our teacher's wings, Unleash the songs in our hearts and carry our melodies over the mountaintops and through the snaking rivers, cleansing and opening those who hear them. We know that open hearts are what heal the world. So let us open, open, open. Reveal our souls to us so we may know ourselves and understand what is needed. Put us in front of those who want to listen. Work with our tongues and our paralyzed voices to clear the way so we can say what needs to be said. Take a deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth for these last few minutes of practice. Beginning to deepen the breath now as you stir gently. Bringing the limbs in towards the center and rolling ever so gently, eyes closed and gaze lowered onto the right or the left side, yogi's choice. And as you roll onto the side, hugging the knees and arms into the chest for a brief moment, reminding yourself of what it takes to come out of hibernation within our souls and into a standing of power, into the power that is our birthright. And when you're ready, using the breath to rise and coming to meet me at the front of your space, of your mat, with your eyes gently closed or gaze lowered to close the practice. And bringing the right hand to the chest, left hand to belly, palms onto the front body. Tucking the chin down, taking a deep inhale through the nose, drinking the breath all the way in. And if it's comfortable, holding at the top of the breath. And as you hold, feeling your body in a state of expansion, a state of expanded relaxation. And as you exhale through the nose or mouth, allowing yourself to feel rooted. Exhaling and then returning to the natural breath. And knowing that it is within our power to build our strength and our capabilities from within an embodied state of Qadr to rise into the state of mind, body, and spirit that we all wish ourselves to be right now. Sealing in the practice and giving gratitude to all of us for being patient this morning and waiting for our time with ourselves that was so needed today. Relaxing the hands into the lap and taking a bow, if you wish, to your own soul, to your own heart space.